I know.
Didn't recognize me.
Oh my, what? Used to speak to me every day of your life, and now you go off to school and you forget about me. So sad. It's okay, Cameron. All right, hold on a sec. Barbara, hello.
Hello.
All right, I'm merging you. So we've got Zach, we've got Cameron, we have Barbara and the crew in Austin. We've got Stacy here, Austin here, John Austin here, Zyla here, and the other Zach. So we've got two Zachs, a Cameron, two Austins, kind of, a Zyla, a Stacy, and a Chanksta.
And a bar.
All right. So I'm gonna. So Barbara, if you could mute yourself for now,
Okay.
because I can hear myself. So I'm gonna mute. All right, cool. So, all right, let's get started. So we got to start on time every single time, so we can end on time every single time. All right, cool. So, yeah. Oh, get them.
Just get back to sleep so I can wake up at 8 in the morning.
Freaking yes,
do it.
exactly.
Woo!
Awesome. So, anyway, so welcome to GCLA session number 1. I'm very excited for today's GCLA. And I want to start off by saying that thank you guys for being here today. GCLA is definitely something that you guys have committed to. That's not an easy task, but it's going to help you guys so much for the future. And every time we go through GCLA, I always think of these two things. The first thing here says, today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't do. Everything you're doing right now is going to set you guys up for the future. And my second favorite quote that pertains to GCLA is, grind while they sleep, learn while they party, live like they dream. You know, a lot of your friends right now are either taking a nap, getting ready to go out to party, and eventually they're not going to be able to live the life that they've been dreaming of. Versus you guys are here taking time out of your schedule on a Tuesday night from 8:30 to 9:30 to hear my super awesome voice and learn things that they're not going to learn until they're in their mid to late 40s, if that. Some of them don't even ever learn these skills when it comes to running a business. So what's that? It's because you love me. Also, yeah, because you love your dreams too. So super excited. Yeah, just a little bit. So I'm super excited about these GCLA sessions. It's my favorite thing. What? I am your dream? That's interesting. So it's my favorite time of the week to be here in GCLA because I get to teach you guys my favorite thing in the world, which are all the management skills that you'll need, not just for Cutco, but outside of Cutco too. Super pumped about what we're building here in West Houston. This is kind of what I imagined for next summer. You know, of course, me being the pilot, me having that go-to person, a Dom, you know, whoever that person may be, we kind of already know, but not really. So could be anybody. Everybody needs to work hard and fight for their position here. I'm also excited about having 10 assistant managers on staff, 5 people as our selling assistants. So for those on live stream, I know you can't see very well, but 5 people as our selling assistants, full-time sellers who'll go out and ship 50, 60, 70, 80K plus next summer and field train the crap out of every single person on our team. I'm also excited about promoting 5 branch managers from the West Houston pilot office. They're going to go out and crush it and help us have a $10 million division next year. And one of my other goals for this fall is defining who are going to be our 3 district managers that go out and making sure that they're staffed properly with at least 2 assistant managers each so they can go out and crush it. And we can absolutely dominate the reports next summer. And not only as a West Houston office, which with a huge assistant manager team and a huge full-time selling crew, but also our branch managers and district managers hitting company trips, hitting bonuses, and getting all the perks of the position they can. And that's why we have GCLA, to help make those dreams possible. So just a little bit of weekly review. For those of you that are out of town, this is that sheet that I emailed you. For those of you that are here right now, just go ahead and take one of these sheets and pass them down. We're going to fill these out every single week. Today, you might not have too much to fill out, but for those that are on camera, you're just going to put your name on it, and I need these emailed back to me. So take a second right now to fill these out. You need your name on it, then your demo schedule is going to say, you know, Monday, then it has a slash there. You're going to put how many demos out of how many you want. So just so I know when it is you plan on doing demos this week. For those that are away, I think about, can you complete 1 to 3 virtual demos a week? Don't have goose eggs on the roller report. Can you have at least an order a week, even if it's for a peeler, even if it's for a trimmer, a cutting board, hell, even if it's for a shears holster? That's better than 0. Okay, and we'll talk about why selling in the fall is awesome later on. Also, I want to know how much you have in your startup. If you don't know, make sure you know for next time. It's okay if you don't know some of the answers to the things on here right now, but as long as you know for later on, for next week, then that'll be good. Also, we have 3 questions on here I'll ask you every single week, which is, so one of these you can't answer till we're done with GCLA today, which is, what did you learn after this session? What are you excited to implement? And then the last thing is, did you give your best this week? If so, what went well? If not, why? So I love that question, and it's a question I ask myself at the end of every single day. It's written in my planner. It's something I got from Dan Cassetta, and it's like, if you ask yourself every day, like, did you do your best today? Did you give your absolute best? You kind of have to face yourself with that question. And if you didn't, you can identify why it is you didn't do well, and mentality-wise, how can you adjust that for the next day so you can give your best? And the reason why I like collecting this and knowing this from you is the only person in GCLA that's going to be able to hold you accountable more to your goals besides yourself is me and Kathy, because we're the ones teaching you guys, guiding you guys towards whatever your goal is, whether it's branch DM or assistant manager. So I want to know if you gave your best on that or not, because sometimes it's easy for you to not call yourself out on your shit because you're like, well, if I let myself down, then whatever. But if we call you out on your shit, you're more likely to pick up the pace and get things moving. So I want to know these things. So just make sure you fill the sheet up by the time we're done here with GCLA. So second thing is on your sheets. And for those of you that are, hold on one second, I am getting someone on the call. Just kidding. So the next thing is going to be to sign up for interview observation. Next week on Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to be running an interview at 6:45 p.m. If you're away at school, make sure that you sign up for a time where you can Skype me and observe me from away at school. That's fine. The third thing on our weekly review is you need to sign up for a campus shift. For most of you, it's already part of your assistant manager schedule, so it's very easy to get your campus shift done. If you don't have a campus shift in your schedule, the campus shift is up here on the board, and you can sign up for one. For those away at school, kind of lucked out on that one. You don't have to do any campus unless you're in an office where it's being integrated, or you're working from an office where that's being integrated, then you can go and help them out. The fourth thing is, let's go ahead and do a little bit of calendar review. September 30th is going to be our first divisional event here in West Houston. I don't have the exact times for it just yet, but I'll make sure to get those to you as soon as I have them. But just make sure you have September 30th marked down in your calendar. Remember that by that time, you want to have at least $250 in startup, which really isn't a lot. Think about it like this. If you're at 10% withholdings, all you have to do is sell $2,500 between now and September 30th to have $250 in your withholding account for startup. I remember when I was a management candidate, my goal was to always be 2 levels ahead of wherever, or to double whatever the startup amount was for that session, so you can always be the leader of the pack in GCLA. And as we go through GCLA, you'll notice that naturally it's going to get divided up into A squad, a B squad, and C squad. And we'll talk about circles of influence later on, but people are naturally going to find, you're naturally going to notice who the leaders of the pack are, who are those that are the slackers, and the people that are kind of in the middle. I know all of you are, trying to strive for greatness here. If you want to be the leader of the pack in GCLA, I would say try and get to $500 in startup, by the time we get to September the 30th. The next thing is at the end of September. First week of October is when SLC push happens. So the reason why I bring this up now is pushes during the fall are different than pushes during the summer. Pushes during the summer, you eat, breathe, sleep, Cutco for 2 weeks, and that's not really how it is in the fall. In the fall, what I always tell management candidates is, let's say you're a 5 demo a week rep not like normally during the fall because that's what your schedule allows. During pushes in the fall, can you do a little bit of prep work where you get some of your work done the week prior? And instead of doing 5 demos the week of push, can you do 7 or 8 demos? So just increasing your demo number by 2 or 3 demos so you can get a couple more sales in during the push. Just doing that alone will help you make a great impression. And the SLC push is the first push that gives you a chance to make an impression. And it's the only national push of the fall. So it's not a regional push, not a divisional push. It's a national push. So your reports are not only going to count on a divisional recognition level, it's going to count all over the nation. The managers go to a giant event this year in Arizona where they come together and they'll be delivering these reports in front of all the DMs, all the DVMs in the whole entire nation, region managers, and both presidents, the president of Vector East, Al DiLeonardo, and the president of Vector West, Bruce Goodman. So this is a really, really big deal. So if you're normally a 5 demo a week rep, just increase that number. And if you're a virtual rep, that week, instead of doing the 1, 2, 3 virtuals, can you increase that by 2 to 3 demos and do 5? Virtual demos are so easy to squeeze into your schedule. Can you do 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 and have a really stellar push performance? Those not in school, maybe you can ask me to get a day off from the office so you can go full out selling. We have people that have 10K pushes for SLC all the time, if they're not in school and they're supposed to be selling, more than just 1 day a week. So, see what you can do to get office schedules adjusted, but push time is always going to be push time and ready to go time. So let's go ahead and dive in with the learning for today so we can just get into it. So we have 3 different things. We're going to be going over 4 different things, actually. I want to review real quick, and we're going to do some role playing as well. So just be ready with your partners. Those away at school, just be ready to talk to your stuffed animals if there's no roommate around that you can bug. But the first thing that we're going to go over here real quick is actually the face-to-face approach. So first, I want to say great job to Zyla, Austin, and Zach, who were on campus the last 2 days for the pilot, and they generated over 92 names in the last 2 days. Obviously, this is huge for your office and any business venture. Whenever you're going to go start something, the best and the cheapest way to advertise for it is simply to talk to people about it face to face and get FaceTime with them. It doesn't even require any sort of literature. You don't need to make business cards, flyers, pencils, whatever in order to get your business going. All you have to do is talk to people one-on-one. And there's a couple keys I have for it. And then I want to ask, Austin, Zach, and Zyla, what do you feel helped you guys with the face-to-face recruiting? But the number one thing is just having confidence and not being scared to just walk up to people, and once you learn the approach, it's very simple and it's just very conversational. It's just telling them about it. So Austin, what do you feel helped you guys get so many names in a short amount of time on campus? And speak loud because we have the people on the live stream.
Biggest thing for me was just always having the number in mind and always like keeping track of how many you have and how many more you have to go. So, whenever we get there, it's like, okay, I need to get my first 10, and then, as quickly as you get 10, you think, okay, what is my goal for today? Every day, no matter what, I'm going to leave with 30 names and numbers. Well, at least like as a team.
Collectively, yeah.
Yeah. And then, if we get to 30, in an hour or so, then yeah, it's, the goal is 50 now.
Yeah, so being goal-oriented while you're there to keep you motivated. What about for you, Zach? What helped you today? Today was your first time, actually.
Yeah, my first time. So definitely, Zyla was pretty much the same thing with setting a goal and just making sure that we hit it before we did anything else.
Cool. What about for you?
Not to feed off of both of them, but the goal thing is a really big deal. I'm glad that Austin kind of taught that to me because it makes it that much more like and same thing for Zach. We were like, all right, now it's 1-1. It was kind of like a competitive thing, and that makes it fun. But also really just not being afraid to go up to people. Like my first day, that was what my big problem was. And Jordan literally made me. He's like, now he sent everyone outside. He's like, now you're gonna go into that cafeteria and you're gonna go talk to people. And I was like, what the hell? I really didn't want to, but he made me, and then doing that just consistently made it a lot easier for me to just go up to people. and just start talking to them. So
Awesome.
Great.
Cool. So do you guys have your face-to-face approaches? It's in the email that Kathy sent. If you don't, let's pair up with people, but let's go over it together here real quick, and then we'll role play it just 1 or 2 times just so everybody can get a feel, and then I'll have 1 or 2 of you do it live for us, and then we'll move on to the next section. But the face-to-face approach, if you get this down, you can literally be put to run an office in the middle of nowhere. And as long as you know how to do this and you're not scared to walk up to people, you're going to recruit people, without having to depend on any outside sources like mailers or web apps. Like if you know this, you're pretty much good to go. So it's pretty simple. You just walk up to people. You can hand them a card, pen, or pencil, or you can literally just interrupt them. Doesn't matter. You say, hey, good morning. Do you happen to know anyone that might be looking for work? And if it's a holiday or something, you can say over the holidays, over the summer, or just part-time around classes. If they say no, you just smile and say, okay, well, have a great day. If they say yes, then you say, well, the job is an entry-level customer sales and service position, and we're a national college student work program designed to teach and hone presentation skills, interpersonal skills, time management, organization, and networking skills, among other things. We offer 100 scholarships annually, and students can even earn college credits. So the job attracts a lot of college students and high school seniors, but we do work with non-students too. Basically, our representatives work with customers one-on-one, face-to-face. We don't do any door-to-door telemarketing, cold calling, or canvassing. They show our products, answer questions, and help them place orders. Do you feel pretty comfortable working with customers one-on-one? Okay, great. Actually, I have a link that has more information and even has a place for you to apply, or anyone you know that might be interested. Were you looking for work, or someone you know is? All right, great. What's your cell? I can text that to you real quick. Then you send them the link. Make sure with the link, you also say thanks, whatever, and type their name in. So now you have their name and their number for later on. And then you say, and how do you spell your name? Okay, great. My name again is blank. I put it in the text. If it's for their friend and not for them, you still text it to them and you say, pass it along to them and anyone else that might be interested in part-time cash. It was great to meet you. If they're the ones that need a job, you can attempt to direct schedule them. Typically, if you're just trying to go quick because you don't have a lot of time on campus, you may not have time to direct schedule them. If you have a longer day on campus and it's someone that's really sharp and you don't want to risk us not getting in contact with them later on, just schedule them. So you say, actually, what's your schedule today or tomorrow? Do you work anywhere currently? Okay, well, the reason I ask is that my manager's conducting interviews to fill some spots, and I can set you up to meet with them. Or if it's somebody that you've kind of spoken buddy-buddy with, you can be like, look, honestly, I'm one of the assistant managers there, and I can get you an interview with myself or another manager because you sound great, or you seem like you'd be really good for the position. So kind of like stroke their ego a little bit and be like, we're looking to fill spots immediately, and then you get them set up. Awesome. So how does blank time work? Text me your email real quick, and I'll send you the address and details to the office. Looking forward to speaking more later on. So really not that difficult. All you literally have to do is read the approach. And so what I want to do real quick is partner up. Austin, Zyla, and Zach don't partner with each other. Partner with Stacy or John Austin. And then, or actually you 3 can go together. You 2 can go together just so you guys can get 1 or 2 run-throughs in. Those that are on the broadcast right now, role play with each other, or you can role play with your stuffed animal. So let's go ahead and role play this here real quick. All right, let's go face-to-face approach. John Austin, go. All right, I think we are good on the role play. Who wants to do it live real quick? You have it down? Kind of? Kind of have it down? All right, cool. So tell us, Johnny.
All right.
So Zyla's the person you walked up to.
All right. So when we're role playing this, are we supposed to be doing this in the morning, afternoon, evening?
Pretend it's 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
8:02. 8:02.
She's running late to a class.
Super running late. Yeah. Just know she's running late. All right, go.
Hey, good morning. Do you happen to know anyone that might be looking for work?
Yeah.
Sweet, probably you because you're 2 minutes late to class. Well, the job is an entry-level job.
Don't say that, by the way.
It's entry-level customer service and sales position. We're a national college student work program that's designed to go ahead and teach and hone presentation skills, entrepreneur skills, time management, and organization skills. We offer 100 scholarships annually, and students can even earn college credits. So because of that, we have a lot of college students and high school seniors. But we also work with non-students as well. Basically, our representatives work with customers one-to-one, face-to-face. You don't do any door-to-door, telemarketing, cold calling, or anything like that. Basically, you just show our products, you answer the customers' questions, and you help them place an order. Do you feel comfortable working with customers one-on-one?
Totally.
Okay, great. Actually, I have a link that has more information and even has a place for you to apply, or anyone that you know that might be interested. So were you looking for work, or do you know someone else who is?
It's for me.
Great. What's your cell phone number? I'll go ahead and send you a link real quick. How do you spell your name? Okay, I don't care. Okay, great. Again, my name is John Austin, and I'll put that in text. Wait, actually, what's your schedule for today and tomorrow?
Great.
Okay, sweet. Do you work? So do you work anywhere else?
No.
Okay, that's cool. The reason I was asking is my manager's conducting interviews to fill some spots, and I'm pretty tight with the manager, so I could probably get you an interview pretty.
You guys laugh, but the more personal you can
Yeah,
make it, the better, you know? That's just his frat star vocabulary, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good.
I got you.
All right, go.
No, I got you.
All right, go.
I can meet with them. Let's see. So I can set you up to meet with them. How does 8:02 tomorrow sound?
Might be running late to a class, but okay.
You probably will. Don't run late to this interview. Text me your email real quick, and I'll send you the address and details to the office. I look forward to seeing you at the office.
Awesome. Let's give him a round of applause. Good job, John A.
Thank you.
You're a great reader. So, by the way, now that we learned this, next time we're going to do drill for skill, okay? Let me explain exactly what that is. So, in GCLA, there's something called a matrix score, okay? The matrix score, hey, pay attention, it's important. Your matrix score is what defines where your ranking is in GCLA. So there's different things that affect your matrix score. You might want to take mental note of this or whatever. The first thing that affects your matrix score is your actual skill. So your drill for skill is what we call it. So next week, since we learned the face-to-face approach this week, I'm going to sit here with a chart that I have for Kathy with your name on it, and it'll say face-to-face approach. And we have a ranking scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. You'll do your face-to-face approach here live, and I'll give you a matrix score based on how well you did, presenting that approach. Obviously, you're not supposed to use the paper, so make sure that you learn it. And the best way to learn it is to implement it. So my suggestion is get on campus and go freaking do it, And I know that the face-to-face approach could be a little lengthy. There's things that you can maybe shorten here and there, but as long as you're getting the idea across and you sound confident with it, and I think you'll be able to effectively use that on campus, then you'll get a good matrix score, okay? I don't think anybody who's their first year in management will really get a 5. You want to shoot for a 4, okay? You'd have to be really freaking perfect to get a 5. You'd have to have been doing this for a while, like me or Austin, to kind of be in the 5 level. So if you're in Vector 101, which most of you are, you probably won't be ranking 5s. You'll be ranking 3s or 4s if you're really good. But for Austin, obviously you're expected to probably rank a 5, on this next week, okay? So basically at the end of our GCLA session, I send over my Excel file or whatever to Kathy with your matrix scores, and then that'll get factored into your overall matrix score. The second thing that affects your matrix score is your fall sales. So how much you sell for the fall. I believe the first level to gain 1 matrix score point is $5,000 for the fall, and every extra $5,000 on top of that is going to get you an extra matrix score point. So if you sell $25,000 for the fall, you get 5 matrix score points towards your total GCLA score. The third thing that affects your GCLA score is going to be your intangibles. Okay, what are your intangibles? Your intangibles are things that I don't necessarily have on paper, but it's all the things that kind of show me like where your character is, where your heart is. For example, like, do you take people from the team field training? Are you constantly trying to improve yourself? Are you asking questions on how to get better at this or that? Do you do self-study? Those things all can affect your matrix score too. It's just your intangibles. So what you do outside of the realm of your assignments, like do you go the above and beyond? So that would be the third thing, is the intangible score. And the fourth thing is your startup. So if you're on pace with your startup, there shouldn't be any reason why you're not scoring 3s or 4s on your matrix score, or at least a 4. How do you score a 5 on the matrix scale with your startup? Is you always stay ahead, And if you have a withholding percentage, or if you're withholding some of your AM pay, it's not very hard to get to that point, but you do need to make sure you are taking the right action steps. So it all kind of interconnects, like if you're selling a lot, you're going to get a high matrix score. If you're selling a lot, you're going to have a lot of startups, you're going to get a high matrix score, So the main thing with the face-to-face approach is next week we will be testing on the face-to-face approach, and on the first GCLA preparation meeting for September, you guys will actually do this live for Kathy, where she'll give you it's kind of like your redemption score. So if you suck next week here, you can redeem yourself on that week, but it's still going to be just the average of the two numbers. So you still want to get a high score next week on face-to-face approach. Those that are away at school, you only get 1 score, and that score is the one that you get when you come here live. If you're away, like out of state, and you can't come live to the meeting, you get your matrix score when you come over winter break, and that's like even harder because it's only 1 score, so you want to make sure you get your self-study in, okay? So next 2 things are pretty quick too that we're going to go ahead and go over. So the first thing here is the pre-screen, okay? So I'm pretty sure everybody here is running pre-screen except for Stacy, and then John Austin kind of ran an interview on his own while we were gone on a manager meeting. So the pre-screen is really easy. So who can tell me what the objective of the pre-screen is?
Make sure they're qualified.
Number 1, make sure they're not ghetto. Make sure they're qualified. What else? What else?
Too old.
Okay, not
Not
too old.
Kind of building rapport.
Building rapport is a main thing. Okay, what else?
Give them the expectations.
Sure. Just tell them what's happening. So tell them what's happening, get to know them, and make them feel comfortable with what's going on, okay? So let's go over the pre-screen here. Pull it up on your phones. It's in your GCLA documents for those watching. It's page 1 of the 2017 Vector interview. Today we're just going to do the pre, the post, and we're going to do the intro. We'll do a little bit of role play, but your goal is to learn this at home, and then next week I'm ready to go so I can give you guys your matrix scores, okay? So the first part of it is making sure everything's set up, obviously, welcoming them, but we're going to start where it says pre-screening. So as soon as you sit down with them, you say, all right, well, this is a quick pre-screening interview. If everything goes well, I'll have you stay for the main interview, which begins shortly after. So how did you hear about the job? What are you looking for in a job? Would you consider yourself a positive person? How many years, or, ask about hobbies and sports. How many years have you been involved with blank thing they wrote on their application? What types of experience do you have working with people? So do you go to school? So you go to school at blank, or you went to school at blank. Dig in, find out their schedule. It says things you can say is okay, and it says here you go to school at blank day at blank time. What are you planning on doing with your major? If we had a position available, would you be able to start training right away? If you want to take that question to the next level, hey, Barbara, it's okay to just be on the live stream, okay? Okay. So if we had positions available, would you be able to start training right away? If you want to take it to the next level, I always say our training dates and times. So I say, if selected for the position, would you be able to start training, this Friday and Saturday? And if they have a conflict, you can ask them, is it something that's flexible or movable, or would you be able to get out of it with an excuse letter, one-time deal? Then you ask them, if you were to choose one quality that you possess that would make you a strong candidate for this position, what would it be? And then you go into the description. So have you had a chance to read through the position description? Every office should be using the dual-sided application, so they already read about the company, so you're not going to give them a whole entire intro again. So you say, basically what our representatives do is work with customers one-on-one, face-to-face, show our products, answer quick questions, and help them place orders. Do you feel pretty comfortable working with customers one-on-one? Okay, great. And then you invite them to stay for the group interview. So far, you seem like someone I could be interested in. I'm going to have you stay for the main interview. It will take about 30 minutes to explain the job in full detail. At the end, I should be able to give you a definite yes or no. Go ahead and keep the position description and use the back for notes and questions. There are several people here for the interview. I don't have a specific number I'm looking for. I can bring on whoever I feel would be a great fit. So you are interviewing as yourself, not everyone else. And then make sure you give them a handshake and say good luck. Okay, so it doesn't say it on there, but don't just stare at them and expect them to walk out of the room. Make sure you tell them, all right, well, good luck, and I'll be in there, in the next 5 minutes or so. Okay, so the pre-screen is pretty simple. It's very, very, very conversational. So again, we're gonna go ahead and partner up here real quick. We won't have anybody do it live afterward. I just want you to get your few run-throughs in, and then Austin, if you want, you can listen to them, do it, and maybe give them a couple tips if they sound a little bit robotic or choppy on questions that you may ask them. So get with your partners here real quick. So Zyla, John Austin, and then Zach and Stacy. And Let's go over the post now. Any questions on the pre? Pretty easy. Any questions on the pre, guys?
No, it's
Super easy. Stacy, Zach, you guys are good with the pre?
Yeah.
Question?
No.
No? Okay, just so you guys know, we can work with people that are 17 and graduated or 18 plus, okay? So when qualifying people, that's definitely one thing to look for, okay? Some of you may not know how to boot people from the pre-screen. Here's how you boot people from the pre-screen. It's fun, isn't it? So some people feel sad about it, but if you need to boot somebody, it's pretty simple. So at the end, instead of inviting them to stay for the interview, all you're gonna say is, everything on here looks like it might meet basic qualifications. However, I'm going to put your application for further review with my division manager. She should be giving you a call back within the next 24 to 48 hours. If she doesn't, you can feel free to continue your job search. So I'll say that again. So it's just, hey, so everything on here looks like it might meet the basic qualifications. So I'm going to put your application for further review with our division manager. If things look good, she'll be giving you a call back within the next 24 to 48 hours. If not, you can feel free to continue your job search. You know, you don't have to be super mean about it. You don't have to be like, well, just continue to find another job because you suck, you know? Just say it like very matter of fact, nonchalant. But you know what? They know what's up when you send them home, because they see everybody else going to sit in there, so they know what's up. They know that they're being pre-screened out. So you both know what's happening, and they just know that you're not being mean about it. So it'll all be good. Sometimes you might have a situation where somebody doesn't fully understand that you pre-screen them out, so they'll go and they'll sit back in the room. If that's the case, you just call them back out and you say, hey, you're actually good to go for today, and then send them on their way, okay? So if you ever encounter that situation, take note of that, because fishbowl scenarios, okay? At prep, we'll be doing fishbowl scenarios, and that could be one that you take out of the fishbowl. So it's literally a fishbowl that we have in the room with different situations that'll happen in your office, and you pick one out, you read it out loud, and then you have to say how you would handle it. So if it has to do with pre-screening, yes or no? Don't tell me a story.
Damn. Okay.
Maybe later. We don't have a lot of time.
So if they were to just go back in there, could you just pretend like, all right, just give your normal interview thing and then just.
You're wasting their time for no reason. So I just call them out and I say, hey, John Austin, right this way. And I bring them back out. I'm like, hey, you're actually good for today. I'll give you a call back. And they're like, oh, sometimes they just didn't fully, understand you. Sometimes they'll speak English. So you just have to repeat yourself. So let's go over the post, okay?
Have you ever been like, but everyone else is sitting back in here?
No.
Really?
No, you do what you want. You're the manager.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose of the post? Anyone?
It makes them feel special.
Sure. That's definitely one thing. What else?
Build excitement for training and you accept them.
Sure. So build excitement for training and also get them set up properly for training. When you've already gone through the interview, if you did a good job in the group, they're already anticipating or asking themselves, I wonder if I got the job or I wonder if I didn't. So you don't need to really toy with their emotions that greatly in the post. You just need to tell them what you loved about them, stroke their ego, make them feel like the best candidate in the whole entire world, freaking accept them, and then get them ready and prepared so they can come ready to roll for training, okay? So there's really 3 parts of the post. There's your general feedback, then you accept them, and then you set them up for training with the names list, okay? So we'll go over all that here together. So it's going to be, it starts on page 9. Of the interview. So everybody pull that up on your documents on page 9. And so as soon as they walk in, as you're walking towards the desk, this is when this starts. So don't sit down with them. As you're walking towards the desk, you say, so Austin, did I answer all your questions? Austin, you can be my person.
Yeah, you were pretty clear about everything.
Awesome. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I think you answered them all.
Okay. And what do you like most about Vector?
Really just the atmosphere, everyone was always smiling when I came in, it seems like a fun place to work.
Yeah, we have some pretty positive people here. And with the right training, do you see yourself doing well at something like this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the products are really awesome. They sell themselves. I think I can do good.
Yeah, for sure. And why is this job right for you?
Well, I definitely want to run my own business one day, and with the experience that you were talking about, I know that that's going to help me do what I want to do later on.
By the way, you want to genuinely listen to their answers because you can always use it to accept them later on. Don't just make up some random bullshit, okay? And then the last thing is, considering our sales program process, who would you start with for practice appointments?
Well, I have some family in the area, and then like I know a lot of like family friends. I did livestock shows, so I know like a bunch of business owners and stuff.
Yeah, they like to cook?
Yeah.
Cool, that's awesome. So then you read over their essay questions. So Austin, as I explained earlier, we're not able to accept everyone for the position, but there are some things that stood out to me after running your interview. I truly feel anyone can succeed with Vector if they have the right attitude and work ethic. But what I like about you most is, and then you go to page 10 where it says how to accept an applicant, and really everybody's going to fall into one of these categories. For Austin, I'll go ahead and pick athlete. So what I like about you most, Austin, is that you're an athlete, and my best representatives are athletes. Athletes succeed at such a high level in Vector because they have incredible perseverance. They never give up, and when they get knocked down, they find a way to succeed. Because you were successful in football, I know you're the type of person who would never settle for less than your best. I can see you advancing quickly, so I'm going to say congratulations and welcome to the team. Then obviously you get them all excited, whatever. My first thing, as soon as I accept them, it doesn't say it on here, but I always say, I'm like, so you excited to get started? And they're like, yeah, I'm pumped, you know? That'll kind of give you a gauge as to how your interview went. Like, if it feels really shitty, they're going to be like, yeah, I'm excited. You know, if they're genuinely gunning for the position and they're really excited about it, then that's somebody you can target to get a lot of people on their names list, okay? So then you go directly to the acceptance sheet, which here in our office, I need to have Lorena start pre-printing them, but we should have front and back printed out training times, what to bring to training, and on the back side, it should have their assignment, their brainstorm list. So this is how you set it up. You say, the most important assignment is your brainstorm list. On the back of your acceptance letter is room to make a list of people you can practice with. As we said in the interview, the amount of practice appointments varies among representatives. How many do you think you could come up with? And they're like, oh, 10, 20, 30, whatever. All right, cool. Well, 10's the minimum assignment. Our top representatives generally fill out the sheet, 30 with family, friends, parents. By the way, if you brainstorm 30 and show them, it's a guaranteed $450 just off the base pay. In our division, obviously they make more than $15 base pay, so do that math, whatever. Bring this prepared brainstorm list with you to the first day of training. By the way, Austin, when you go home and talk to your family about the job, this is key, by the way, so make sure you guys make note of this. And for those in West Houston and actually all across the division, there's an interview packet that I put together that I used all summer, and it really helps with recruiting because especially with the younger guys that have to ask their parents about the job before they get started, it has like the Wall Street Journal article, has like basically a bunch of supporting documents about Vector. So when they go home and tell their parents about the job, they don't just say some random stuff like, we sell knives. Like, obviously it's what we do, but if they give them that stack of papers, it'll explain the job a little bit better, the same way that a manager would. So make sure you hand that to them and you say, when you go home and talk to your family about the job, if they've heard of Cutco, they'll be really excited for you. If they've never heard of Cutco, they might think you're weird, but don't worry. Once they see it, they'll love it and be your biggest supporter. Share with them this packet and your notes. If they still have questions, have them call me and give them your personal cell phone number. Just so you know, there's a lot of information about Vector out there, so make sure you check out vectormarketing.com and the BBB website. Obviously, working with thousands of representatives, a small percentage of them do not have the success they want and end up bad-mouthing the company. So be careful where you search and make sure you check out the real website. So here's your take-home packet. Here are the times for training. And whatever their skills for life. Super excited to see you, Friday at, 2 p.m. High five them and make sure you walk them, out the door. And our receptionists are awesome. They always get them pumped when they leave. They're like, I hope you had a great interview. And if they see them with a paper that they got accepted, they're always like, oh, so will we see you on Friday? And they're like, yeah, we'll see you on Friday. And they get them super pumped up. So just make sure you walk them out the door, maybe introduce them to a couple people. If myself or any of the top managers are in the office and we're like dressed and in a room that's clean, you can always come and introduce at least your sharp kids to me. So your top 20%, if you have like a stud in training that you really want them to show up, you can walk into a room where I'm at any time and I'll know exactly what you're about to do. And you can say, hey, Miss Chang, I actually have, Nick here. He's one of blank person's friends, or he goes to the University of Houston, heard about us on campus. He's actually coming to training with you this Friday. I just wanted to introduce you real quick. And I'll set that kid up to, come in with like 50 million names and numbers to training so we can make sure we're ready to roll. So that's kind of like pro tip for you. So if you're running your own office and you have an assistant manager, teach them to do that because it helps build your credibility. So that's pretty much the post. So let's go ahead and partner up here real quick and go through the post with your partner. Those on live stream, get with your partners. Let's practice the post a couple times. What I would do if I were you is go over these questions here one time and then go over the how to accept an applicant separately. Go over it one time as well so you guys can get a good run through. No, that wasn't a lot of time, but we gotta keep going here. So we're not gonna have time to role play this. However, this will be tested for your matrix scores next week. So just to review, face-to-face approach, pre-screen, post, and intro will be matrix scored next week, okay? So if next week we can get started at like 8:15 instead of 8:30, just because it's going to take a little bit of time to go through all the approaches each person, let's do that. The group intro, by the way, super, super easy. This thing used to be a page and a half long. I'm not even kidding. In the old interview that I first learned on, it was a page and a half long of stuff, and it wasn't spaced out so much like this page. So you guys are pretty lucky, and it's really an easy thing. You're just introducing yourself to the group. And the reason why you do this, by the way, is just so you can set the tone for the interview. It's really important that in this first page in the introduction that you, number one, memorize it, and number two, that you come with a level of assertiveness so that they know who's boss, okay? Because you don't want them asking questions throughout the interview, and you want them to know that this is an actual interview setting, okay? So you say, again, my name is Mary Lou Chang. My position here is the pilot sales manager. I actually started 5 years ago as a student at Florida International University in 2011. I'll be using my notes today to make sure I don't miss anything, but make sure to take good notes in case you are accepted so you can share the details with your family. By the way, I can bring on whoever I feel would be a good fit with our company and our team. And our most successful representatives really have three fundamental traits. They have a positive attitude, they display a strong work ethic, and they follow our program. Just know that this job is not for everyone. So 80% of our representatives who start here love it, get great experience, and make great money. 20% realize it's not for them. Not everyone has the work ethic for this type of job, and that's okay. Everyone in our company starts at the sales representative position. We only promote from within, and even our CEO sold knives in college. Advancement is very, very important to us, so we're always looking for potential assistant managers and career office managers. We are in the, obviously, Gulf Coast division, and you can say we're in the top 5 ranked divisions in the company, and our division manager is Kathy Vasquez. If you want to know some stuff about Kathy, you can say she's won 7 national titles in a row and has broken every major national sales record, which is true. She has broken every single one. Doesn't hold all of them currently, but you can say she has 7 national championships and has broken every major national sales record. Our office plays a major role in the success of the division. Our district manager, and for the pilot, it's me, so you say pilot manager. Our pilot manager is Mary Lou Chang, who's worked side by side with Kathy for the last 5 years, helping win 7 national titles. And last year, our office sold $900,000 for the summer alone. Today, I will explain the position in detail and show you what you'd be doing if accepted. At the end, I'll meet with you individually and should be able to give you a definite yes or no answer. Cool? Any questions on the intro, post, pre, or face-to-face approach? No, it's pretty base level stuff. You just need to learn it is all. And one of your assignments is going to be to actually go ahead and do a pre-screen. You're allowed to come to any interview in the office at any time and ask me to run a pre-screen as long as you're dressed, professionally. I don't really care if it's like Zyla's interview or Austin's interview. You can steal pre-screen from them. That way you can get a feel for it. The only thing you can't really steal from them is like a post or an intro because that really goes for the interviewer, okay? So just a couple closing thoughts as we wrap up GCLA today. And we'll talk about this really every single time, but it's your circles of influence, okay? This is what is really going to separate you from being really successful in GCLA and not doing really well. As we go through the school semester, it's a very hectic time, whether you're in school or out of school. The fall can be filled with lots of demos, lots of work, fair and show training, lots of GCLA stuff. So having people that you can count on is super, super important. These are 2 of my favorite quotes that have to do with circles of influence. The first one says, the key to success is keeping company with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. And the second says, people inspire you or they drain you. Pick them wisely, okay? And especially going through this process, it's important to, if I were you, take time and sit down and evaluate and say, okay, who are my circles of influence in life? And every time I've done this, there's always been people, whether it's personally or professionally, that you might need to cut out of your circles, okay? And what exactly are your circles? It's these 3 circles right here. The first one are people you're learning from. And your goal should be to have 3 solid people that you are learning from, or 3 people in your circle in each level. So the first one is people you learn from. So who are the 3 people that you can identify, whether it's inside or outside Cutco? And for me, it's both. I have people inside of Cutco that I'm learning from for my Cutco business. And there's other people in life that I just look up to, people whose life I want to emulate, that are in the circle of people I want to learn from. Then you want to look at who are the people that you're learning with. Are they people that you see yourself equal as? Are they people that challenge you? Your friends that, and it's okay to be around people that maybe aren't in your circle of influence, but you can't let them influence you is the key, okay? So the only people that can influence you are the people in your circle. So if you have some friends that maybe aren't into like personal growth or getting better, and they're just like potheads that are just chilling at home and like have no desire or ambition, you can still hang out with them. It's okay to love them, but you can't let them influence you. Like being in GCLA, being a person in life or somebody with ambition or goals, you have to be a man or woman on a mission. Nobody's gonna just hand something to you and say, hey, you know what, you have a pretty face, so I'm gonna give you a freaking $500,000 branch this summer. You actually have to work for it. But all that work starts now, so it's important to surround yourself with the right people. And the people you surround yourself with now are going to be the people that you talk to the most this summer. And every single summer, without fail, the groups of people that hang out together ship the same amount of CPO. Always. The top managers in the company are all friends or all talk to each other. Coincidence? No, they just are surrounding themselves with people that they strive to be like. When people ask me, well, what's this manager doing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't ship the same as them, so I don't talk to them, And it sounds a little petty, but it's true. If you want to be at the top, you have to consistently talk to people that are going to challenge you to get there, Some of my greatest friends in the business and outside of the business are people that can call me out on my stuff and be like, hey, that's not like you. That's not the person you want to be. That's not the mission that we're on right now. The last circle of influence, which is one of the most important, are people that you're teaching for. So who in life, out of life, or in life or in the business are you teaching? Maybe it's a younger sibling. Maybe, oh wow, that would have been awful. Maybe it's a younger sibling. Maybe it's a rep that you're mentoring. It could be anybody. I encourage you at the next team meeting, who can you walk up to randomly and say, hey, I want to be your mentor this fall. And teach them, and by teaching, it holds you accountable too, because there's somebody watching you at all times. If you have a younger sibling, you definitely know this. They watch you even when you don't think that they're watching you. They pick up on things, they repeat things that you say, and so it's the same. And so it holds you to a different level of accountability, where you have to be on your A game when you're around them. And it's the same thing here. And it also helps you enhance your own personal growth. And my favorite thing, article that I read, which was referenced by Robin Sharma, which if you don't know who that is, he's the author of The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari and the Leader Who Had No Title. And I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but it's this whole entire, idea of what a titan is, okay? So in Greek mythology, they refer to something called a titan. So in Greek mythology, a titan is referred to a member of an ancient race of powerful gods with incredible strength, power, and influence. In today's world, a titan is a man or woman who is a member of the financial, business, and social elite. So these are people like ultra billionaires like Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or Elon Musk, even athletes like Roger Federer, LeBron James. You can even look at people like J.K. Rowling or Nelson Mandela or Gandhi or Martin Luther King. Those are all people that are titans. And what's the one thing that each of these people have in common? Yes, they have, what they call grit, which was defined by a Pennsylvania psychology professor as the trait of exceptional persistence and devotion in the face of obstacles. There are people that have an uncommon respect for time. So people that believe that time is truly priceless, and the hours average people waste on gossip or TV and video games they use to create like remarkable and unbelievable results. All of them also understand that focus plus time equals genius. So while average people are trying to do 100 things, these people, the titans, are performers that focus on doing just a few things really, really well. So they're not focused on doing everything amazing, but a few important things really, really well. These are also people that are engaged in deep daily practice, which led to their exceptionalism. And I love Robin Sharma references the 10,000 hour rule. There's a book that basically talks about how if you want to become a master and expert at something, you have to spend 10,000 hours doing it, which is crazy to think about, like spending 10,000 hours on something. In the article, he also talks about that titans are people that take hedged risks that ordinary people don't take because it makes them feel too uncomfortable and scared. They're also people that invest far less on entertainment and so much more in their education, especially on their personal development. The world truly belongs to the learners because the more you learn, the more you will achieve. And yes, these people had the guts to believe in their own vision of their future, even when they were the only people on the planet who believed in that vision. And sometimes it's so true here in Cutco. Imagine when you first started the job and so many people were like, are you going to do well selling knives? And you were the only one that believes you can do it. And then here you are today. You are in that moment your own version of a titan. And what Robin Sharma says is, he says, out of all that I've observed coaching so many of the financial elite and ultra achievers for 17 years, sharing long meals with them and traveling to exotic locations with them, the one thing they all have in common is all titans live and breathe the law of association, which says that your result always rise to the level of your influences. So to create world-class results, you must absolutely spend time with people whose lives you want to be living, because science has proven that mindsets and emotions are contagious. Associate with elite performers, those leading world-class lives who are in the top 0.001% financially, super healthy, and seriously great human beings, and their ways of thinking, doing, and being unconsciously start to influence you. And the law of attraction ensures 5 main things, which if there's anything I want you to get out of being a titan, it's really these 5 things. So the first thing that it ensures is, number 1, your income generally is the median income of the 10 people you spend the most time with. So if you think of your circles of influence and 3 people in each of those categories, what are their income streams like? If your 3 circles of influence right now are not very high income streams, then your average income is going to be that of their income as well, okay? The second thing that it states is your level of emotion or your levels of motivation will look a lot like the motivation of the people in your social circle. So if in your social circle you're, again, with just not very ambitious people, it's okay to cut those people out of your life. And sometimes you have to make really tough decisions on that. For me, even as much as I love my parents and I love my family, sometimes they weren't necessarily the best influences for me when it came to my professional or personal success. So I had to spend less and less time talking with them about business because they weren't really moving me in the right direction because their motivation lies elsewhere, and it's okay to cut them out of conversations like that if it's going to get you one step further. Just have those conversations with people in your circle. Number 3, your ability to execute on your goals and deliver results on your dreams will be a lot like the execution intelligence of your friends and associates. So you've probably seen people before that they just go out and freaking execute. And you might have even thought to yourself, how do they do that? Where do they get the motivation? How do they stay motivated? And even like Kathy, I've heard so many people over the years be like, what are you doing? How do you stay so motivated? And it's because the people that she hangs out with or talks to have an execution intelligence that push her to do extraordinary things. Number 4 is your lifestyle will reflect the lifestyles of the people who populate your life. Same thing as circle of influence. And number 5, your overall beliefs and happiness levels are definitely a mirror of the beliefs of those you associate with most of the time. So if you associate with typically happy people, you're more likely to be happy. If you associate with people that are poor and sad, you're more likely to be poor and sad, So if you're hanging out with your broke ass friend that can't even afford, Taco Bell tomorrow, that's going to be where your happiness level lies, So just make sure that the time that you're spending with your circle of influence outweighs the time that you're spending with people that shouldn't really be influencing your life at all. So as we go through this whole GCLA process, I encourage you to, at the next meeting, Reach out to the people that are at the top of the rankings in their matrix score. How can you get more involved with them? How can you get connected with some of the top DMs in our division, top DMs in the nation, maybe top DOMs if that's what your goal is? How can you get connected with top branches if that's what your goal is? And it's really easy. Go to the report, go to the peak times of the summer. Who was at the top of it? Go on Facebook, search their name, and talk to them. It's really that simple, okay? One of the reasons why I got really good at what I did was I was always talking to the people that were the best at what they did, and I naturally got better. So just a little bit of review one more time is make sure you fill out the sheets that I gave you. I need those turned into me before we leave. And the last thing is, why we sell in the fall, and we'll go over this every single week, is number one, all of you are at 30% or more. It's super easy to sell Cutco. You did it all summer, every day, all day. So how easy is it to sell a grand now? Selling a grand is like a joke. It's like if you can't sell a grand, like shoot, you shouldn't be a manager, right? And if you make 30% of every grand you sell, that's $300 extra in your check. That's easy money. Number 3, it's gift season, okay? Around this time of year, the media is doing it for you. Starbucks already has pumpkin spice lattes. Like, there's already Halloween stores popping up on every corner. People are in the buying mood. The question is, are you getting to them and selling them gifts, or are they already at the store buying them, okay? You need to get to them before the fall is over. The 4th reason is startup. The 5th is CPO. How cool would it be to go into your branch summer at 50, 60, 70, 80 grand, and then use your branch summer to get to the 50% mark where you can make half of everything you sell next fall, okay? The next is obviously your matrix score, and the last 2, which are the most important, which is cash and confidence, okay? The more you sell, the more confidence you have, because the more cash you have. And we all know that when your bank account is full, you're walking around like you're God's son. All right, like nothing can touch you. You're amazing, best person on the planet. So naturally, what gets better when you're confident, you have a lot of cash. Your interview gets better. Your face-to-face approach gets better. Your training gets better. Your demos are better. Think about the demos you did, like towards the end of SE2. Like it was a joke. Or even right after SE2, you had all this money. After SE1, you had all this money in the bank. You're like, you have so much confidence. You had commas in there when you never even know your bank account could have a comma. So easy to sell in the fall. An easy way to save money is to implement the $100 rule. It's something that I did with my division manager because I used to be super awful at saving money. And it's if you're gonna spend over $100, ask Kathy if you should spend money on that or not. Okay, if you're scared to, number one, text her, and she's cool with this. If you're scared to text her and ask her if you should spend $100 on something, means you probably shouldn't spend $100 on that item. And the second thing, and my second rule, is if you're gonna spend 100, save 100. So if you have 100 to spend on something that you really don't need, you better have $100 to save on something that you don't need. Okay, so that's my rule with $100. If you're gonna spend over $100, talk to Kathy first, or just make sure that you save an extra $100 and put it in your management withholdings. But I'm going to throw the music on. Those on live stream, I'm going to call you guys individually on my way home now. So just wait for my call and go ahead and submit your questionnaires to my email. And those of you that are here live, fill out your questionnaire, turn them into me, and then let's make sure the office is clean and ready to go for interviews tomorrow. But I will talk to you guys next week, same time, same channel, different link.